Probably I knew when he was willing to go through a lot of hoops to win over my family and to go through a lot of difficulties with that. And he just was willing to. One time he went, I think probably the time that I knew for sure, I knew before that, but the time when I was just more affirmed of that was when I was sick one day and he went to one of my 3-hour classes and took tons of notes and skipped work, and he really needed to work, and he was just willing to sacrifice a whole day just so I could go home and get some sleep. And I loved him before that, but that was like, oh my goodness, he's great. So yeah. Well, I love being engaged, and everything changed the moment that we were engaged. Like, I loved him so much more than I ever thought that I could, and it was just a moment that I could see how the Lord worked everything out and how this really was the person I was supposed to marry, and all doubts were erased then. And it is difficult being in school and working and all that, but he's wonderful, so he picks up the slack whenever he can, and it's a wonderful opportunity to learn about how to take refuge in the Lord and to enjoy the moments of quiet that I have, and to really learn how to spend quality time with Everett and with the Lord. And so it's been a wonderful experience, though I'm really tired and stressed out a lot of the time. Well, for a year or so, I'd been trying to get to a point where I would be okay with having someone that didn't share all of the same interests that I did, and that didn't like the same music, or that music wasn't important to them. But then, and so I was to that point where I thought that those things weren't important just because they were part of my personality. That they weren't necessarily the right things for me. But then the day that we talked and we spent time together and we were discussing our relationship, I realized that he was everything, all of those things, all those qualities that I loved, like someone who liked the same music, not in a completely secular way, but just music was important, and it was an important part of how he expresses himself. And then he's a writer, and he talks a lot and I don't, and he can express the Lord in a really creative way through music and through writing and through really keen insights into everything. And he's just one of the most sweet and sensitive in a manly way people that I know. I want kids. Peyton Field said that we're going to have 11 kids, so I don't know if that will come true or not, but we're keeping our fingers crossed. No, I'd probably want 4 or 5 kids, maybe more. I don't know. I guess we'll cross that bridge when we come to it. Probably the day he proposed to me. It was kind of I just saw how much he loved me that day, and it was, I don't know, it was just, and I told him about rings, that I didn't need anything fancy and I didn't need anything over the top, and he didn't need to spend a lot of money on it. But then he had already saved up and spent I don't know how much on a ring, and he was so excited about it, and it was more than I ever wanted or expected. And so it was just kind of, not that the ring was that important to me, but just how much thought and effort he put into it. And he tricked me pretty good. Well, first and foremost, I would like to thank Jay Juan for printing out our invitations. My parents were great through everything, and they really helped me pray about it and decide if this was really the direction I wanted to go. And Mark and Marcia also, they were great, and the love that I knew that they had for me as soon as all this happened was overwhelming, and just everybody's been really great about it. And he went and talked to Sunny before we started dating, or whatever you call it, and he was really great, and everybody just just the whole body was great. How excited they were when we got engaged, and how helpful they're being through the wedding and everything. It was just really encouraging and great.